What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, I've had a subscriber that's been asking me to do a video, and I think he's been asking me to do a video like detailing why Dame is better than Iverson. um, well, we're all entitled to our opinion, but I don't see how you believe that one. And there's gonna be some people gonna say I saw Iverson his whole career and Dame is more dynamic and all of that shit. Yeah, okay. No, Dame is not better than Allen Iverson. He's not. Um, Look, Dame. I give Dame one. I give Dame, in my opinion, one advantage. And that's his efficiency in shooting, outside shooting. Um, he's more efficient than they are, generally. Um, However, and of course, he has much deeper range, much better, deeper range than Allen Iverson. Iverson was not really a 3-point shooter per se. I mean, he had games. He had a handful of games where he would get hot and he would knock down some threes. You know what I'm saying? But they were usually right behind the three-point line. You know what I'm saying? You didn't really see a bunch of games where Iverson's like bombing away from 30 feet. I'm not going to sit there and say that. But considering all of the advantages that offensive perimeter players have today, they typically play on teams that have other guys that can shoot the rock. Defenders are hindered from being as much of a hindrance that they once were. It's not as physical, obviously. The game is more free flowing. It's more offensive friendly. So when you consider all these things, right? Look at this. Let's look at Dame Lillard's career percentages. And I like Dame. I do. He plays in the Bucks. But I just got to be honest with my opinion on here. Dame for his career is a 43.9% shooter. 43.9% shooter. And for his career, he takes about 18.6 shots per game. Now, considering that this is a more efficient era because the defenses aren't as formidable because of the rules, it's not as physical a game, and players can pretty much go into their moves, go into their bag and showcase their skills. It's not that hindrance. It's not a defender pushing, especially when you got a guy as little as AI, right? And Dame isn't a big guy either. Dame is only 6'2", 6'3", 195 pounds, right? But 43.9% in an era where guards are shooting around 45%, he's not that efficient. 37.2% for his career from downtown. The league average is around 36%, 35%, 36 to 37%. So he's shooting just marginally above league average. That's why I've never considered Dame one of the great shooters. Like, he's a good shooter, and he can get into a rhythm. He can get into a zone where he's bombing away from outside, but I've never put him in the same category as a Steph Curry, prime pre-injury Klay Thompson, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen. Hell, I would even include Glenn Rice and Dennis Scott. Those guys. Drazen Petrovic, even though he didn't take as many threes. Those guys, man, were far more efficient in an era where it was harder to be efficient. The guys I just mentioned, right? So Dame is an 89.6% career free throw shooter, so he's one of the great free throw shooters of all time. As a matter of fact, I think when it comes to NBA history, it's Steph, number one. At number two is Steve Nash. Number three is Mark Price. And then I think it's, when you're just talking NBA history, then I think it's Rick Barry. And then I think Dame at 89.6%. But Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, if you include him, he was a 90.5% career free throw shooter. But the problem is, to be included on these lists, you had to shoot at least 1,200 free throws. And Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf was 39 short, 1,161. But anyway, Dame would get the edge as far as shooting. To me, Iverson is a better scorer. Iverson is, I still believe, the only guy under 6'2" to score over 20,000 career points. Iverson didn't have the shooting around him that Davis had. I'm not saying Davis had great players around him, but he's had more shooters around him. Iverson, for the big part of his career, except for maybe Kyle Korver later on, Iverson didn't have like a lot of shooters around him. Iverson played on teams where the defense was pretty much geared toward him, aimed at him to stop him. Double teams, triple teams in his face. And this is not a big guy. He's only 6 feet, 165 pounds. And when you look at the fact that Iverson shot 42.5% from the floor for his career, right? And he took 22 shots a game. I think he's top 3 all-time in shots per game. And he's that small in that era. And he managed to shoot 42.5%. That's not very bad. I used to think it was bad, but it's not. Consider the fact Tracy McGrady, who's 6'7", 6'8", 43.1% for his career. So Iverson, well, to me, did more with less as far as scoring. He was more consistent with his scoring, if that makes sense. He would get his points, even if AI was not scoring well as far as shooting the ball. If he wasn't having a good shooting night, AI was going to get those points. Whether he had to go to he got to get it the hard way. Whether he had to go to the line and get it. And back then, you got rocked on your ass. You didn't get those cheapies. You had to drive to the fucking basket and get knocked in the fucking face by Ben Wallace. Or knocked to the ground by Shaq. Or, Mutombo. You had to run into these guys. You know what I'm saying? Alonzo Mourning. The big man, Jason Williams. You know what I'm saying? You had to get it the hard way, man. And I just, nah. Dame ain't on that level, bro. I don't even think Dame should be top 75, to be honest with you. Playmaking, I mean, yeah, I guess technically you get at the Dame, right, numbers-wise, but Iverson was an underrated playmaker. Iverson had seasons averaging like 7, I think even one year averaging 8 assists. Iverson could be a damn good playmaker. On those nights where the other guys were knocking down shots, it was fun to see AI play point guard. It was fun to see AI have games where he had 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 13 assists. You know what I'm saying? Taking some of the offensive pressure and load off of him so he can rest one night. So you have to always try to shoot the ball 30 times. I like those games. It was rare for the Sixers, you know what I'm saying? But AI was an underrated passer. On defense, AI won't stop nobody, really, because of his size. But, you know what I'm saying, he did lead the league in steals 3 times. Dame is allergic to defense. So Iverson by default wins by a landslide on that angle. Then it's the other shit you can't measure by stats. Toughness, grit, hustle. I mean, don't get me wrong, Dame was smooth out there, man, but Iverson was just a different animal, man. Come on, man. You got Dame low managing already, man. You had to fight for Iverson. Look, Iverson caught shit. Iverson caught shit for missing practice. These guys today miss games. And nobody bats an eye. Iverson was getting shit because he was missing practices. As you know, he said, not the game, man, the actual game. But we talking practice, man. We talking practice. Not the game, which I love, but practice, man. And he was getting a hard time for that shit. Now, these dudes got every excuse in the book not to play games. Tired legs. Anyway, yeah, man. Nah, man. Plus, Davis never led his team to an NBA Finals. Every time he went to the conference finals, he got his ass whooped by the Golden State. That one time he went to the conference finals, got his ass whooped by the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry owns his ass. You know, and a lot of his weaknesses are being exposed right now. And I think they'll work. I think they'll eventually work some kinks out with the Bucks, but you know that's another video for another time. But anyway, tell me what you guys think, man. Do you think Dame is better than AI? I don't see it.